Welcome to the Car Guys, and welcome to an episode I never thought I would have to make. This week, I'm afraid, it's another rant, and this time about Porsche, specifically Porsche dealers, or one in particular, mine. And before you all say, oh, Damien's off on one again, he's obviously not got a GT allocation, that's what it's all about, oh, Yornorama City. No, actually, it's not about a GT allocation. Well, it's not entirely about a GT allocation. It's about something a lot more serious. In my last rant, I was in a Porsche ranting about Ferrari. This week, I'm in a Ferrari ranting about Porsche. Funny how things work out, eh? Now, all of you know I'm a Porsche fan. I've got 3 of them. I've owned all the body shapes in my time. It's a company that I love. They are products that I love. But there's something seriously wrong with the way they're being sold and with the way cars are allocated. This episode's not about that. This episode is not about missed allocations. It's not about the fact that I'm not getting a GT3 or a GT3 RS or a GT2 RS. This episode is about the basics. This episode is about how you are valued as a customer at a dealership. It's about how you treat customers to turn them into long-term customers, loyal customers who buy not 1 car, not 2 cars, but 30 cars over their lifetime. And it's about how you treat them and keep them. I've just got off the phone to Porsche Portsmouth, which is my chosen Porsche dealer. Had a great relationship with them in the past. I bought 3 cars from them, including one just 1 year ago. And after the phone call I've just had with them, I am A, flabbergasted, and B, seriously seething. And you love it when I'm seriously seething. So buckle in and enjoy this one. As is customary though with a Car Guys video, I'll give you a little bit of beans. Ready? I simply cannot believe the shoddiness of the treatment that I've just received from supposedly the dealer that I get on really well with, the dealer that I bought cars from, and the dealer that I was hoping would be a dealer for life. But after what's just happened, I'm not sure that's going to be the case. So first, a bit of backstory. I used to be a customer of Chapelgate Porsche in Bournemouth. It was my local dealer, very convenient. I'd bought a few cars from them brand new. I fell out with them in a big way after a car that I was buying from them, a 997 Turbo S, was sold right from under me. So I vowed I would never use Porsche Bournemouth again, servicing or sales. And I then went to Porsche Portsmouth. That resulted in a brand new Carrera T, which you'll remember from the channel. Then in 2019, I got a Boxster S 718. And of course, in November, my latest new car from them, which was the 718 Spider, which obviously you will know all about. So I thought the relationship was good. I was building. They obviously knew a little bit about the fact that I do some of this YouTube business. I wasn't using the channel to get free stuff like I know many people do. They simply were aware that I did it, but it made no real difference to my business relationship with them. So they know, as you know, that I'm very much a Porsche man. I'm very much a fan of the brand. I'm very enthusiastic, and they also know that I missed out on the allocation for the last round of GT3s or GT3 Tourings and how annoyed I was. And obviously I had to then buy one on the grey market at great expense. So all of this backstory they knew about. They knew that I came from Bournemouth, I was aggrieved, and I wanted to build up a long-term relationship with them, because of course smart salespeople know that you don't just sell 1 car, you should sell them a lifetime of cars. I assumed that having had all that backstory and backed up with actually buying new cars, that therefore I was a customer that they would like to keep and develop, perhaps sell more cars to. There's your background right there. So, up to the present day, I hadn't heard from Portsmouth Porsche for quite a while. I decided to ring them up, and at that point I was told that my salesperson had left the company. No idea when, but he'd gone. Okay, fine. Can I talk to another salesman, please? He said, oh yes, that's right. Your account's been passed over to me. What would you expect to be the first thing that you would do as a salesperson if you were given a new client who you'd never spoken to before? you're right. You would phone them up, wouldn't you? Or you would get in contact in some way. However, nothing happened. Nothing. I heard nothing. And so I was amazed that here I was talking to the salesperson who supposedly is my main contact now at that dealership, and I had not heard one word from this guy. Honestly, I was taken back. I discovered that the records that they have of me were incomplete. I found that they were wrong, so that was a bit concerning. But guys, to be honest, what was most concerning is basic customer service, basic salesmanship. What the hell is going on? You're a Porsche main dealer. You've got a client who has a proven track record in spending money frivolously. And we're talking about Porsche, a company that launches new models pretty much every other month. What the hell is going on? Are Porsche so lazy that they do not even bother to contact customers anymore? They just wait for incoming calls and then they pick them up and they just fill in an order form and that's it. Is there no customer care? Is there no customer maintenance? Is there no, I'm just going to call you up, see how you're getting on, any cars you're interested in? We've got a new Taycan in, would you like to test drive it? Would you like to see if it's your thing? We've got the new Turbo S in, the 992. We know you've had a Turbo S in the past. Would you consider driving that? Is that something you're interested in? I mean, that's even before we get to the ultra holy grail GT cars, which of course I would be under no illusion that I'm not going to be in line for anyway. That's part of the reason why I don't really fear any of this conversation, because we're talking about serious customer care deficiency, and yet they're hoping that the allure of those special GT cars is going to cause people like me to stay silent, which, let's face it, most of them do. Where I am at the moment with Porsche is that I'm an active Porsche customer. I would like to be made to feel special. I would like to be invited to drive new cars to see if there's something I want, and there's a good chance that I will buy some of them. That's it. It's not magic, it's not rocket science, is it? And no one seems even vaguely bothered about it. I managed to get a kind of muffled sorry out of the guy after about 15 minutes. I told him to inform the dealer principal, whom I at least know, my displeasure and that therefore I'd like to be contacted. That was 3 days ago. I put a social media post up about this as soon as it happened. Porsche Centre Tewkesbury got in touch straight away. They know what they're doing, and apparently they're very good. A lot of you will say, oh, of course it is. Why are you so naive to think it's not like that? Yeah, I believe that even at car dealerships, and even at dealerships where they have cars which everyone wants but not everyone can get, I still believe there's a fundamental duty that they have to actually nurture customer relationships. Call me old-fashioned, but surely that's part of the job. You are not a salesperson if you do not even bother to contact your clients to try and get them interested in new cars. Maybe Porsche has all the clients it ever needs, and it never needs to actually care for other clients. It just needs to sit there and wait for the phone to ring. Maybe, that might well be the case. If it is, frankly, unforgivable. And any dealers that do that do not deserve mine or your business. As you can tell, I am surprised and quite annoyed by this situation, and I am sure in the comments for this episode there's going to be tons of you saying, yeah, that's just what they're like. I had the same experience, I had a worse experience. So I'm most annoyed about the fact that no one bothered to even tell me that my salesperson had gone. No one bothered to value me as a customer, to continue the relationship enough to even make a single phone call or an email or a WhatsApp or a text or an Instagram message, anything, any of those ways. You can all get in touch with me every single day. I don't see why they can't. And I'm annoyed that as a result of that, all of my conversations about what cars I wanted in the future have been lost, and therefore I probably missed out on some opportunities. I'll tell you another thing that really annoyed me as well, is that when I did actually talk about GT cars in terms of, well, I guess that means there's no chance of me getting one of those, the very first thing out of this guy's mouth was, oh, well, if you want to be considered for one of those cars, you're going to have to obviously buy some of our old stock. The first thing he said, you're going to have to buy a Cayenne, you're going to have to buy a Macan, you're going to have to buy an old Boxster that we can't shift. Not relationship development, not customer care, not customer value. What else can I flog this mug? So you, my friend, are getting nothing from me. You couldn't even be bothered to make a phone call, and when I contacted you, the first thing you did is try and take advantage of me. You. So I'm sorry, Porsche Portsmouth. You, my friends, have dropped the ball massively. I firmly believe that I would not even be in the running for a new GT3 or GT3 RS or whatever new other cars coming along, because I simply haven't bought enough cars. I'm realistic about that. I'm not going to play that dealership game, because it is a dealership game. It's not Porsche doing this. Porsche is not telling dealers, shift some of that old stock to the people that want the GT cars. Porsche is not doing that. Porsche is specifically saying, make sure the GT cars go to loyal customers, proper car guys, people who are not going to flip them. That's their instruction. But you know what? The dealers are subverting that message, and they're saying to us, Porsche said you need to buy a Boxster S to get one of those, or you need to buy a Cayenne to get one of those. No, it isn't Porsche. It's covering up the fact to Porsche that the dealer's got a load of stock they can't shift, and they are using their halo models to try and get rid of it. And that, my friends, is wrong. Authorised dealers need to be very careful, because if people are not as excited about buying new cars as they were, and they're not, those sales are going to dry up, and you'll find that you've got no long-term goodwill, and I don't think I'm going to play that game anymore. All of these shenanigans have made me think that I'm just going to get all my Porsche second-hand from Ashgood, because at least they know what they're doing and they're passionate about cars. And then other brands, I'll get them from Romans International or from the Octane collection. I feel a little bit better now that I've shared my views with my beloved Car Guys audience. You guys understand what we're all about. You share our pain, you share our frustrations. I hoped that Porsche Portsmouth would be different. Turns out, guys, I'm sorry to report, they're the same. And that's a real shame. So I hope you enjoyed this episode on Porsche customer care and a little bit about Porsche allocations and practices. I know it's what many of you are thinking, but fortunately in my position, I'm able to speak freely about these things, and I'm able to reflect the sort of views that you also have. And remember, we buy our cars. We don't rely on favours to get them, or special subsidised YouTuber discounts to buy our cars so we can tell our viewers that we've bought a new car and then miraculously we sell it 6 months later because we decided we wanted to. No, we don't have to do any of that. We buy the cars with our own money, and therefore we're treated just like you, and we can talk freely about what happens.